Hello, all, and welcome to this afternoon's beer review, which I'm going to dub another lazy colonization beer review. Kind of lazy today. Didn't do the full set of chores, but you know what? I can be lazy every now and then. So, what will I be reviewing this afternoon? Well, actually, I'm going to be reviewing something that I was quite impressed by. So, this is from Rogue Brewing, and it's a honey Kolsch. Now, Kolsch, as you may know, is a style that I like because it's kind of a hybrid style in between an ale and a lager. And this is 5.0 ABV, and is a Kolsch style ale brewed with wildflower honey. It says here, dedicated to the bees. Honey Kolsch is our liquid ode to bees, brewed with wildflower honey. This Kolsch-style ale has layers of subtle floral notes, accented by the honey's natural sweetness that create a refreshing balance with the hops and the malts. Oh, not only, so they also have the IBU here, and that's 26, and the SRM of 6. So yeah, the full amount of information there. They even give a taster's like guide here. Sweet. So there's even more information on the website. I'm going to bring it up because I found it interesting at least. Ingredients: Rogue Farms Dare and Risk malts, wheat. So there's wheat malts in this. Dextra pills and acidulated malts. Rogue Hopyard honey and wildflower honey. Alluvial hops. Free-range coastal water and Kolsch number 2 yeast. Now I'm kind of wondering how much honey is in the mash bill here. See if that makes it a full-on braggot, which is a type of beer that is brewed with honey, but it really depends on the percentage. Let me get the camera up here again, because it's kind of weird for me to be recording without having the camera there. And why did I like this? Well, we shall see why in a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and see here. It says it even has pairing notes here. Prosciutto, grilled trout, and bananas Foster. I love bananas Foster. I haven't had grilled trout in a while. Don't really have trout here in Hawaii. They have a lot of seafoods that you wouldn't get anywhere else, but yeah, freshwater fish, kind of hard to get here. So we're going to be pouring it out into the regular craft ale glass. I kind of debated which one to go and use for this. Ended up going with this one. Giving it a fairly vigorous pour here. And an opalescent, slightly cloudy orange-yellow, or I would say more actually yellow-orange, with a fluffy to frothy off-white head. Redolent of bready to biscuity malts. You can even smell the honey in this, just slightly though. It's kind of like a top note in the scent. And even in the base too, you can kind of interwoven into the malt base there. Fruit, apples, pears. And floral hopping. I kind of wonder if how much of that floral aspect is brought on by the wildflower honey, or accentuated by it. A lot of interplay there. Onto the palate. Fairly soft carbonation bite for the style. And what I love about this, just this wonderful long finish of honeyed malts. And it's not super sweet like honey. It has that honey flavor, but it's not as sweet as honey. So It has all those wonderful honey-like notes, honey notes, without it being super sweet. Up front and into the mids, and slightly into the start of the finish, that's where the sweetness is. It's a well-balanced sweetness. Mouthfeel is rather thick for a 5.0 beer. But still refreshing. Hop bitterness peaks in the mids and declines in the finish. Not a very clean finish, but what is there is very, very interesting and pleasurable to me. The fruit in the nose is not really apparent on the palate, but that's perfectly fine. You already got a lot of interesting notes there. Also, some very soft, very subtle floral notes in the effervescent top note. I'm trying to warm it up as fast as possible here. Very drinkable. Now, what I like about this, and I guess I'm going to go and fill a space while I'm trying to get to warm up, is that there is a lot of complexity here for what is essentially a sessionable ale. You know, you have that interplay of honey with the floral notes, um, the bready to biscuity malts, hop bitterness, and it all just kind of weaves into each other there. One thing though, and I'm not going to really count this as a hit because, you know, it's kind of me just quibbling a little bit, is that a lot of the Kolsch notes, at least right now, while it's still fairly cold, aren't really apparent. It would be very difficult for me to go and taste this and say, yes, this is a Kolsch. Not that a Kolsch is a very easy one to go and, you know, do a blind taste and say, yes, this is the style. But, you know, while the fruit notes are there, you know, that fresh cut fruit notes are in the nose, not so much in the body as of yet on the palate. Starting to show up a little bit more as it warms here, since I'm doing the full hand grasp, kind of warm it with my hands. But still, the honey, the malting, and even the hops are definitely much more apparent than, um, you know, the taste notes that the Kolsch yeast would be lending it. And I'm not going to really hold it against them because damn good beer, I'd say. Mm. I've seen this one on the shelf for quite some time, and I've never gotten it, mostly because Rogue is kind of expensive compared to other Sixers. But I figured I would get it now because I didn't want to review an IPA. I wanted to review something different. So it kind of came down in between this one and the wit beer. And, you know, because it was a Kolsch, I prefer Kolsch's over wit beers. That's what I came and chose. Mm. Yeah, that honeyed note is becoming more intense in the long finish, and I quite enjoy it. Again, even though I'm saying honeyed note, it's coming as it warms up. Yeah, it's also becoming a lot stronger in the nose, that honey note. But the interesting thing is, it's not that sweet. You're getting that distinctive honey-like scents, honey-like palate notes, but you're not getting a whole lot of the sugar. And again, it's well integrated with the malt base and the hopping. So well integrated, it's kind of hard to tell where one ends and the other begins in regards to the floral aspects of the hops and, the sweetness of the malts. Well, I do believe I'm going to have another can of this after. Quite enjoyed this one. So, Rogue Honey Kolsch. While the Kolsch notes are there, but it's not really quite apparent for the style. But despite the fact that it's not quite to style, it's an excellent beer, and I think that I recommend you go and try it. Go and see how honey could be well integrated into a beer without being overly sweet. And folks, I guess I've kind of run out of things to say. A little bit tired today. Sorry, that's why I've been so slow. And that is your beer review for this afternoon. Cheers, folks.